Hey everybody, as you may know, One Hit Thunder is part of the Evergreen Podcast Network, and I'm not only excited to tell you about, but I'm also excited to listen myself to the new show, Countdown to Dallas. On the 60th anniversary of the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, former White House correspondent Paul Brandis takes an in-depth look at the seemingly unconnected events that led to that infamous afternoon in Dallas, Texas. He explores the troubled and broken life of Kennedy's killer, Lee Harvey Oswald, and challenges 6 decades worth of conspiracy theories, none of which have been proven. Paul combs through tens of thousands of documents, all recently released by the National Archives and Records Administration, the CIA, and the FBI. Paul's findings take us back to 1939 to explore the transient childhood and often violent teenage years of Oswald, a man who was focused on becoming famous by any means. The first few episodes of this podcast are out now, so subscribe to Countdown to Dallas today in your favorite listening app or at evergreenpodcast.com.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
If you played Rock Band or Guitar Hero in the mid-2000s, you know Dragonforce. If you mastered their power metal classic Through the Fire and Flames, you'd be the talk of any party. The talk being, imagine if that guy could actually play that song on a real guitar instead of tapping colors on a piece of plastic. Joining us this week is One Hit Thunder favorite Matt DiStefano to discuss this cult favorite band and their one and only trip to the Billboard Hot 100.
One hit is all you need to make the money guaranteed, and you can live off royalties forever. And it makes me wonder, is it just a wonder, or is it one hit thunder?
So Matt DiStefano is back, and this time I don't know how Matt Kelly let this one slide. Does this song count as a hit? But I'll let Matt Kelly defend his decision to let us talk about this song today.
I mean, look, there's a lot of different rules that we make with what constitutes a one-hit wonder. But at the end of the day, I think the simplest rule is this is the only song that they've ever had to even sniff a chart.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah, it charted on the Hot 100.
Yeah, it actually made it. That shocked me, actually.
The thing that shocked me, and for anyone listening, of course, we are talking about Dragonforce Through the Fire and Flames, which peaked at number 86 on January 19th of 2008, way after it came out. So,
I have a theory on that. What
is it in the wake of?
It's not even a theory.
Is
it's
it because of Guitar Hero?
3.
Yeah, Guitar Hero 3, it became a track on Guitar Hero 3, and people became obsessed with it.
Okay. Chris, this song was the Bowser, the Ganon. This was the final boss in Guitar Hero 3, which exposed it to a bunch of different people who had never been exposed to this before. I'm very curious to hear what both of you think about this band, because I think I know how each of you feel about this band, but I'm curious to see if I'm right. Yeah, absolutely riding the wave of the video game to chart success.
Were you a Guitar Hero 3 player, Matt?
Yeah, I loved Guitar Hero. I was like very into any of the rhythm games, starting with Parappa the Rapper through, DDR. I can throw down on some DDR, but yeah, Guitar Hero was a lot of fun. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was really dumb when people were like, that's stupid. That doesn't translate to people actually being able to play guitar. When it's like, well, you're actually fingering a fretboard and you're strumming rhythmically. And I was like, it kind of does translate. You're not going to be able to play a song, but the actual fundamentals of playing a guitar are built into the game.
And I think I said this on a very recent recording of ours, Chris, but I actually think that those games are more difficult if you know how to play a guitar.
Yeah.
Because it goes against so much of like what your strumming hand and like fingers are used to forming, I think.
Yeah.
I almost think I was better at those games if I started at a harder level, because like trying to play a song on like easy mode, I'd be like too ambitious in everything.
I was a Rock Band guy, and I think this song was added to Rock Band too. I like that you had the drums and the vocals and everything with Rock Band. But what's interesting about it is part of your argument for it, Matt DiStefano, could be that like the rhythmic aspects of it. I don't know. Have you played Beat Saber? Have you done the VR Beat Saber game?
No, but Dragonforce just did a song for Beat Saber when I was looking up their music. It came out like within the past 2 weeks.
Yeah,
that's amazing.
It's pretty
But
wild.
I am familiar with it.
But what's interesting to me as a person who should not be teaching anything, but I recently, tried to show my girlfriend's kid who's 11 a little bit of like, got him acoustic guitar at some point and wanted to show him a little bit of like, I'm always thinking like, okay, you have to teach somebody how the different sounds are made by where you put your fingers on the fretboard. What I never think about is the other hand, because I don't know. I think that this isn't a brag, but I think that part kind of came natural to me, maybe from playing air guitar, maybe from playing piano. I don't know, something about the right hand, the strumming and the rhythm of that just came natural. Teaching someone that part of it, I can't even fathom how to go about teaching someone that. That's when I was like, oh, I shouldn't be teaching anyone anything,
Yeah.
You need to get Guitar Hero in front of them
and
show them how to use the right hand.
Yeah, exactly. So there is a little bit of benefit to it. And yes, Dragonforce, I think I love that comparison. It is the Bowser, the Ganon of Guitar Hero, because it's so much insane guitar work, to the point that when you first listen to this song, me being a little bit of a doubter, I'm like, this has to be just made with computers to a certain extent. But then go watch a live video of them playing it. They play it flawlessly.
If you don't want to watch a live video, I had never watched the music video for this until this episode. The guitar solo sequence in the music video is now one of my favorite moments in any music video, where not only are you watching this dude shred, but it has a closer camera just filming his hands in the bottom corner as it's happening, while the other guitarist is just downing a beer waiting for his turn to shred.
And we are talking, there is one member of this band who I think has risen above as a name as compared to the rest of the band, and that would be Herman Lee. I believe that he has become a real name in the world of guitar, correct?
Yeah, and even in social media, he's like a big YouTuber.
Right.
He is very entertaining on Instagram. In my, little bit of research before us chatting about Dragonforce in depth, the most I've ever talked about Dragonforce probably, and most I ever will. He's really super entertaining on the internet, and I think he's the root of the band. They've changed singers, they've changed drummers, they've changed bass players, but the two guitar players are the two that have never left this band, and he's the one that really stands out as the personality.
Right.
And at the end of the day, that's what you're coming to the show for. Like if you're paying money, you're paying to see those two dudes absolutely tear up the guitar. This is the comparison I thought while I was listening to this song for like the millionth time, because I'm curious to see where Matt's prediction lands on this, but I am a big Dragonforce guy. I've got a couple of their albums.
Makes sense.
As much as I don't like metal, I love power metal. Like, power metal is like a genre I've always enjoyed. But I'm watching the Through the Fire and Flames music video, and I'm listening to them solo back and forth, and I'm thinking back to Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, and I'm thinking of God Gave Rock and Roll to You playing as the song that saves the world. And like, I love that song. It's my favorite Kiss song for sure. But I feel like they only used that song for the song that saves the world by Bill and Ted because this song hadn't been written for another 15 or some years. Like, this is that like super uplifting, crazy good guitar back and forth that like I could see bringing unity to the world, a la a Wild Stallions. Like, this is what I imagine Wild Stallions should sound like in those Bill and Ted movies.
It's triumphant as hell. That's one thing I'll say, because you brought up a word, power metal, and I can assume what power metal means just by the words power metal, but the actual definition on the internet is it's a subgenre of heavy metal combining characteristics of traditional heavy metal with speed metal, often with a symphonic context. Yes, that symphonic part of this power metal, they did leave out what I also think it seems to be a big part of not only Dragonforce, but also some of the other bands from this world, like Blind Guardian and Helloween and Stradivarius and Rainbow to a certain extent.
Fire, that's a great one too.
I'm so glad you mentioned Stradivarius, by the way. That's going to come up in a little bit.
Yeah, Stradivarius, who I almost got on Chris to Makes a Podcast at one point. One thing that seems to be a big part of this too, which I can't believe was left out of that definition, is just like the lyrics that are the nerdiest lyrics you ever hear in your life, but nerdy in a good way, because I think there's two sides of nerdy. If you're a nerd, if you're a true blue nerd, you're into dragons, you're into wizards, you're into playing Dungeons and Dragons. That's real nerd shit, and not the live, laugh, love of nerd shit, which I would say is like being real into Marvel movies and stuff. You know, that's like what you're not really
into both, Chris. But something that I was shocked by, because I always knew of power metal, I never like broke down what it actually was. I was shocked to see that. Did you see who they say is kind of like the godfather of power metal?
Who's that?
It said Ronnie James Dio.
Oh, okay,
that like
sense.
His time in Rainbow in the late 70s, like writing these metal songs that were all about fantasy and sci-fi and had, like you said, that operatic vibe to it. That he's kind of the person that they pinpoint as like, all right, he kind of started this, and then all these other bands kind of followed in line.
What's interesting about that, you bring that up. I saw it noted that Rainbow's song Rising, which was released in 1976, it was before the term power metal was a thing, obviously. It was still the 70s, but it was an 8.5-minute piece about a wizard enslaving a bunch of people to build a huge tower, only to jump from the top of the tower and fall to his demise, which is the funniest concept for a song I may have ever heard of. So yeah, if Rainbow started it all, I think that's pretty cool. I'm down with that.
But yeah, Dio leads to like, Judas Priest and Iron Maiden are definitely way more in the power metal than traditional metal. And then, eventually down the line, you get to stuff like Dragonforce.
So Chris, do you like this?
It's interesting because I'm not a metal guy, but
right. I know that.
There's something different about this. There's something really fun. I mean, hey, Dragonforce, they're definitely a band's band. You're going to go, if you're watching them play, you're just going to marvel at the musicianship. You're going to nerd out on how good it's not just the guitarist, it's everybody. If they've had several vocalists, all of them are great. They're hitting crazy notes, and they're obviously carrying these ridiculous melodies and lyrical themes, and watch the drummer do the crazy double bass, and stuff. That everybody is a ripper in this band.
Even the keyboard player's a bit of a ripper.
Oh,
the synth parts in this song are insane as well.
Yeah, nobody's coasting in Dragonforce. Everybody is everything's on 11 the entire time. And to your question of do I like this, I don't know so much that I would put it on, but when it's on, I'm like, this is good. Like, I can't say anything bad about this. It's the musicianship is too insane for me to say anything bad about this. And I do like the triumphant feel.
I meant to text you prior to us doing this because I wanted a live reaction of you listening to this while running on a treadmill.
Okay.
Just to see if you broke the speed of sound or something.
Yeah, I gotta try that at some point, I guess. I don't know. I may have brought this up before. It's a high school memory, but my friend Jers, who's been on several past episodes, I always remember he got in this fight. It was like a fight. Everyone's going to meet up and somebody wants to fight Jers. Jers is a big dude. So Jers is probably going to win this fight, but this guy wants to fight him. So we're in high school and everyone meets up behind this like meat packing plant where people fight. And we're just
You
waiting.
really are from Pittsburgh.
Yeah. And we're all waiting for the other guy to show up for Jers to fight him. It's like, I don't know, there's probably 20 people at this waiting to watch this fight. So the dude who's going to fight Jers comes, flying in his truck, blasting heavy metal. He was blasting Metallica and gets out of his truck like, let's go. And Jers beats the shit out of him. And I just don't, why I told that story is just more or less like heavy metal music isn't what I would necessarily listen to get psyched. So I don't know if it's going to make me run faster or something. It's probably more hip hop or something more along the lines of like Glassjaw or Rage Against the Machine as far as heavy music goes is going to get me psyched than like heavy metal music. So I don't know how fast I'm going to run to Dragonforce. They do have that triumphant feel. Maybe I'll be like Rocky, just running when I hear Dragonforce. I don't know.
It's almost too fast because anytime I run, I like having music in my headphones that's a good BPM for the pace that I'm running, so I can kind of run on the beat. And if I tried to do it to this, it'd be either way too slow or way too fast.
Yeah.
I'd be tripping.
I remember, God, you're unlocking a memory for me now. I remember way back when I would go to Planet Fitness regularly and use the elliptical, and the most chaotic elliptical experience I ever had, because I was trying to keep with the beat, was the Blood Brothers came on and like trying to like keep pace with a Blood Brothers song. I was like, I'm gonna break my fucking leg on this.
That's too herky jerky. But this, this is at a steady. The BPM's not. You're not going to crazy time signatures and stuff. I was wondering, like, if you ran at you're saying if you took it to the slower, if you cut the beat and you ran to it, it's too slow, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd be the only reasonable option. So we're talking about how this game, I said game because it had this resurgence because of this game. That was what really brought it kind of more to the greater public. Do you both have memories of the first song that you remember hearing in a video game? Like, not the theme to Super Mario, but a pop song or a rock song or a hip hop song that you remember.
I know.
Okay, let's hear it.
I know exactly what it is. For Sega Genesis, I had Michael Jackson Moonwalker.
Wow.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it for another second, Matt Kelly's really going to like this. What I remember before that was in the Goonies 2, the song for Nintendo, the song that would play in the back was a 8-bit version of the Cyndi Lauper Goonies Are Good Enough.
Yeah. Now, do you mean like discovering a song for the first time because of a video game, or just associating a song with a video game? Because Rock Band 2 definitely introduced a handful of songs that I've never really heard outside of it either. The biggest one for me, because my friends and I used to have like Rock Band 2 parties all the time, is this band The Main Drag had a song in there, and I can't even remember what the song was called, but it was kind of like this weird synthy song. And I just remember it was like, nights filled with longer hours. And then it was like this weird, like synthy beat. But, like you would just shuffle on Rock Band 2. And for some reason, this song kept coming up when our band was on tour in Rock Band 2. So it's the song I associate the most with that game for whatever reason.
What's yours,
I wasn't
Matt
much of a
DiStefano?
gamer.
Do you guys remember the arcade game Top Skater that was a kind of precursor to Tony Hawk and all that sort of stuff, but you stood on an actual skateboard.
Whoa.
And it had little rails so you could balance yourself and you could hit the tail and ollie. And
I guess I remember that, yeah.
The Pennywise song Searching was in that game. And I remember hearing that and then going out and buying the About Time album. So I'd heard of Pennywise. I just don't know that I'd ever actually heard them. So that was my exposure to Pennywise.
Nice.
This was not one that I discovered through music, but it's one that I will always associate with a video game. And it ties to a place where Matt DiStefano and I's friendship was spawned, actually. But at CN Skate Palace, do you remember they had the Crazy Taxi game in there? And it just, we would throw these shows in this skate palace, Chris, like on the skating rink.
It was a skating rink. When
it was
you
a
say
skating
skate
rink.
Palace, it makes it sound much more opulent than it
it was a
is.
rundown skating rink that no one was using, so we would throw like punk shows there. But they had the Crazy Taxi machine plugged in, so the entirety of the show, you would just hear Offspring's All I Want on a nonstop loop for 5 straight hours. And it was usually where the merch tables were set up, so anybody who was doing merch was just harassed by this same 30-second loop of an Offspring song for an entire night.
Damn, that's like a nightmare for me. That's not that bad of an Offspring song, though. Yeah.
There's another video game piece of this that I think was interesting. I was just looking up random videos related to this song, and there's a video of a kid. It's probably a 15-year-old video of a kid getting the Guinness World Record score for this game.
Oh, wow.
And it looks like they're in a living room. They're surrounded by people, and everyone, the kid playing included, could not look more bored to be part of this Guinness World Record successful attempt. He sets the record, and then the camera kind of spins around at the end. You think they're in a living room, and then there's a bunch of clothes hanging on a rack, and it looks like you're in like a clothing store. I can't really figure out what's happening. I was just fascinated by this video.
That's par for the course for beating video game records. First of all, a kid just recently beat Tetris for the first time ever, and it was just him by himself. At least he had some sort of not bored reaction, but it's just him by himself. Or if you watch the King of Kong, is that what it's called?
King of Kong.
King
of
Kong.
One of the best documentaries ever.
Yeah. And when that dude's beating Donkey Kong, it's just like him by himself and his kid going, I got to go to the bathroom, or whatever it was.
Kill screen coming up.
Yeah, the kill screen coming up is the best part in that whole movie. The guy just awkwardly wandering around the arcade notifying people. Very monotone notifying, too. Hey, guys, just the Donkey Kong kill screen's coming up.
So unceremonious. Man, did I hate when I was a kid. And it started not to be that way by the time Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis came around, but there were plenty of games, obviously for Atari, but then some for Nintendo too, where there was like no ending. Like you work so hard to beat a game and then you want some sort of payoff to it. Like one payoff that I remember especially liking was Super Mario Brothers 2. Like it was like a all out like big ending, and I was like, that's nice, that's what I want, not just nothing, not like the end. That was always very disappointing.
How do you feel about the end of this song? Does the end of this song deliver for you? The real kind of half-timey part?
Well, yeah, and I saw that I think that there's the music video version, and then there's like the extended album version, because one thing that I looked up, one of the little facts about this song is that at 4:53, I believe it is, of the music video version, Herman Lee breaks a string, but they left it in. But I tried so hard to listen to it. I'm like, I can't tell. There's so much crazy stuff going on. I don't hear something, but apparently one of the things you hear is the sound of the string being broke, but I can't pick it out.
Yeah, I mean, they cut like 2.5 minutes out of this song for the music video version.
But, and you think 2.5 minutes of an 8-minute song, I'm not going to miss it. But I watched the video today, and they cut out parts that I really like. I mean, there's 15 guitar solos on this, but I have ones I like more than others. And I was kind of bummed that they took certain ones out of the video. But obviously, who's going to play an 8-minute video unless it's Thriller? And this is not Thriller. It is not... Other than the part that you talked about, it's not the most exciting video to watch.
No, it's this type of music video that you were definitely used to seeing when YouTube was the only place to get music videos for a while, which was just like, here's a band playing a song with some kind of cool lighting. Call it a day.
These guys are we're talking a lot about video games, and I think that's pretty fitting because these guys are so self-aware of the fact that their music lends itself so much to video games that they have a song. Now, I don't know if they just made these songs on their own or if they're for something, but they have a Zelda song. They have a Skyrim song. They have, obviously, Guitar Hero was a big thing for them, so I think they may have just went, well, let's go with this. But their music sounds like video game music to begin with.
Yeah, and I think that there's this whole other type of metal that I think is like a subcategory of power metal where like you have full bands whose entire career is just transposing 8-bit video game theme songs into these like headbanging metal songs. You've got bands like the Mini Bosses and stuff like that are like literally just being like, all right, let's play every single song from Super Mario Brothers 2 as a 10-minute like heavy metal odyssey for people to enjoy.
Well, and I saw Dragonforce live probably in 2007, 2008 ish.
Yeah.
And Horse the Band is who opened for them, another really kind of, I don't know if you remember them, they were kind of like a hardcore band, but they had the 8-bit keyboards and they wrote songs about video games.
Why take one vacation with the family when you could take all of them? With Royal Caribbean, you don't just go to the beach. You visit a private island and race down the tallest water slide in North America. You don't just go for a road trip. You ATV and zip line through the jungle. You don't just go somewhere new. You rappel down waterfalls and discover ancient temples. Because this isn't just any vacation. This is all the vacations. Come seek the Royal Caribbean. Ships Registry, Bahamas.
Hey everyone, let me take a quick minute to tell you about my experience with AG1. I'm sure I'm not the only person who's felt sluggish and stressed and not able to focus. But when I started drinking AG1 daily, I could feel a real noticeable difference in my daily health. That's because AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the future of foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. It's funny, when I first started drinking AG1, I sent a picture of it over to my friend Mike. He's a buddy of mine that's pretty health conscious, so I thought that maybe he'd like it too, and I was about to recommend it to him. But you know what his reply was to me? He sent me a photo right back of his AG1. He was already a step ahead of me, and since then, I've talked about it to him several times, and we both agree. AG1 makes us feel more energetic, makes our stress levels feel more manageable, and we feel like we're getting the nutrients our bodies crave. And that's why I'm proud to call AG1 a sponsor of One Hit Thunder. It's the supplement I trust to provide the support my body needs daily. If you want to take ownership of your health, it starts with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/onehit. That's drinkag1.com/onehit. Check it out.
91 Donkey Lane is a magical apartment complex that contains immense power but lacks intelligent inhabitants.
What is happening?
I'm getting texts.
Why are we getting a lot of texts?
People found out what we did.
Oh, dividing Mike Myers into an infinite amount of tiny Mike Myers?
Listen to 91 Donkey Lane for free on Spotify or your favorite podcasting app. More at 91donkeylane.com. See you there, you donkeys.
I don't know if it's too early, but everything we're talking about ties into a game that I have planned for the two of you. So
okay.
Can we play a game for a little bit?
Sure, let's play a game.
Okay, so I have prizes. I came the last time I was on the proper version of this show. We gave away a signed Phantom Planet CD. It's debatable whether these prizes were better or worse, but I'm going to leave it up to the two of you if you'd like to play on behalf of yourself for the prizes, or if you'd like to play on the behalf of a listener. That's up to you. I'm going to have you share that before I tell you what the prizes are, because you have to commit.
I'll play on behalf of a listener.
I'll do the same. It would be rude for me to be like, I'm playing for myself.
I thought you were going to play for yourself.
Well,
okay.
but then how do we decide who these listeners are? We'll need to
Well,
wait.
we'll figure that out on Instagram, I think, after the fact,
Okay.
when this episode comes out.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, well, let's go over the prizes real quick first before I tell you what the game is. So we're going to go in order of... we're not going to go in any order. Chris, you mentioned Stradivarius. I used to write for the school paper when I was in college. So I have promo copies of Stradivarius.
Nice.
Elements Part 1 and Elements Part 2.
Okay, nice.
We've got those for your listeners. We have, keeping with the CDs, I don't know if this is before this album came out. This was the first Dragonforce album or the second one. I think it was the second one. Whichever one I discovered them on. It was either hard to find or it wasn't out yet. But I have a burned copy of Dragonforce Sonic Firestorm that I drew a little picture of a dragon on.
For anyone listening, Matt did the art of a dragon breathing fire on the CD. I love that.
There's 4 more prizes. I'll go through these.
Wow.
I'll go through these quickly.
I know Matt's so bummed that there are CDs as prizes.
There's physical media that I'm missing out on.
I know.
Yeah.
There's more. You still can play for yourself. It's not too late.
No, I'm not going to change.
This I don't know what's on it. We're like, full disclosure, we're in the process of cleaning out our basement, which is where some of this stuff came from. This is a CD. It says Crunk Jams 2K7. I don't know what I don't know what's on it.
Okay.
It could be absolutely anything. I'm
going to handle the shipping of these prizes so I can burn Crunk Jams
2007
on my computer first.
There's Crunk Jams 2006 somewhere too, but that's for next time I'm on. We have Chris's favorite band, the Ataris, a bumper sticker from their album that had their one hit. This is a one-hit centric prizes. We have, this is maybe the best one, 12-inch vinyl single of You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer.
Now that's a prize right there.
That's a good one, right?
That is a good one.
I have a couple more records for future appearances, but this is my favorite one that I found. This is a thank you note from my friend Chris, who we call Biker, from his wedding. Again, this was probably, 20 years ago almost at this point. Not 20, 18 years ago. And the note says, I forgot this is what I gave him as a wedding gift. Thank you for the unbelievably awesome Dragonforce tickets. For reasons I know you understand, we can now never start a family, but it's cool. Love, Chris and Lauren.
Wow.
So that's part of the prize too, is this thank you note
Very nice.
for Dragonforce tickets. But the game, let's talk about the game. So we're just talking about how they have a song dedicated to Legend of Zelda, which is on their new album coming out, which we can talk about this later, but they've been doing covers on a bunch of their recent albums, and they're doing an interesting one on the next one. But I have a list of Dragonforce song titles and a list of console RPG video game titles. And so we're going to go back and forth. I'm going to give you one of the titles, and you're going to tell me whether you think it's a Dragonforce song or you think it's a role-playing video game.
Okay.
And so I have a lot. We'll only do a couple, I think. But let's say Matt was really noble in giving up prizes that he wanted. Yeah, let's do first to 5. First to 5, correct.
Okay.
But Matt was noble in sacrificing. He might have wanted that MC Hammer 12-inch single, but he's not going to get it.
He likes CDs more than records.
I do. But I would still frame it in this house.
Matt, first title. You can tell me, is it a Dragonforce song title or is it a video game title? Die by the Sword.
I'm going to go with Dragonforce.
We have our first correct answer. That is correct.
Wow.
Die by the Sword is a Dragonforce song. Okay.
My
Chris,
turn.
you are up next. Astral Empire.
That's a video game.
I'm sorry, Chris. That is a Dragonforce song title.
Astral Empire? No.
Sorry.
Damn.
Okay.
All right, back to Matt.
Back to Matt. Here we go. Eternal Sonata.
I'm almost positive I know that that's a Dragonforce song. If it's not, it's like close to a Rhapsody of Fire song title.
That's actually a video game.
Nice.
That's
a tricky one. Sonata?
Yeah.
Love you got him with that one.
I know. Okay, back to Chris. Chance to tie. Wings of Liberty.
Oh, God. Wings of Liberty. I'm going to go Dragonforce.
Tied it up. That is a Dragonforce
That's
song
on their
title.
first album,
Yes.
right? Is that on Valley of the Damned?
I have absolutely no idea.
I think so. I just got that album.
Wings of Liberty.
Okay. We're going back to Matt. Heart of a Dragon.
Heart of a Dragon is definitely a Dragonforce song that is on their first album, Valley of the Damned.
Okay, yes. I don't know what it's on, but it is a Dragonforce song title. We got 2 for Matt, 1 for Chris. Dragon Warrior.
I'd say that's a game.
That is correct.
Nice.
That is a game.
2-2. All right.
We're tied at 2. All right, back to Matt. Tales of the Abyss.
Video game.
That is a video game.
Wow.
We've got 3-2. All right, this is closer than I thought it would be. I don't know what I thought this would be. Back to Chris. Power of the Saber Blade.
Power of the Saber Blade. Wow. Oh, I'm gonna say that's a video game.
That's the song title of the song Dragonforce did for Beat Saber.
Oh,
So
damn
that
it.
is a Dragonforce song.
Wow.
We're at 3-2. Okay. Matt, you need 2 more to win. 3 Hammers.
I'm pretty sure that's a Dragonforce song.
That's correct. That is a Dragonforce song. Matt with 4, Chris with 2. Let's see. What are some other ones that we've got here? Chris, The Last Dragonborn.
I'm going to go video game.
That is a Dragonforce song.
Oh, damn it.
All right, here it goes. I could win this here.
Matt for the win. Matt for the win. All right, Matt, you ready?
Yeah.
The World Ends With You.
I'm going to go video game.
Matt wins it. The World Ends With You is a video game. Some other titles that we
Was
had
Eye of
on
the
here.
Beholder on there for video game?
No, I had some other video games that sound like Dragonforce song titles. Hybrid Heaven, Dragon Quest, Saga Frontier.
Wow.
Some other songs that sound like video games. Curse of Darkness, The Warrior Inside, Strike of the Ninja, a few others. But great job, Matt. You're pretty good. I think you knew a lot more of these songs than Chris did.
Yeah.
Just actually knew them.
Yeah, he actually.
Yeah, no, I was aware of them, yeah.
He actually knew them. Hey, I want to put some things in context before we go any further here. We said that this song, Through the Fire and Flames, peaked at number 86 on January 19th of 2008. It was right between at number 80.
Oh, I wrote this too. This is hilarious to me.
At number 85, right above it, was 1, 2, 3, 4 by Feist. And right below it, at number 87, was Superstar from Lupe Fiasco.
Great little sandwich there.
Yeah.
Other fun note about this time period. Not 1, not 2, but 3 songs performed by Alvin and the Chipmunks were on the Hot 100 at the time that
Really?
Dragonforce was on there, because the
We
movie
in the
had just come
Squeakquel
out.
era? Squeakquel era or what?
It was them doing Had a Bad Day. It was them doing Funky Town, and it was the Return of the Witch Doctor song that put them on the map in the first place.
Wow.
So,
And if you want some more context of what this time was like, January of 2008, the number 1 song at the time was Alone from Flo Rida and T-Pain.
yeah.
Some other songs that were popular at this time was No One by Alicia Keys, Love Song by Sarah Bareilles, if you remember that era, Crank That from Soulja Boy, Take You There from Sean Kingston was popular. There were a couple Paramore songs in the charts at this time, Crush,
there were.
Crush, Crush, and Misery Business, and Rockstar by Nickelback was in the charts around this time.
I had to laugh also because according to Billboard, it said that the number 3 song was Apologize, but it listed the artist as Timbaland featuring One Republic, and I feel like that is a One Republic song to me that features Timbaland.
Wasn't it on the Timbaland album, though?
Oh, is that what it-
Shock
okay.
Therapy or whatever it was called?
Maybe
The one where he
that's
had
why.
like different artists on each song?
Maybe that's what it is. Because I hear that song and I'm like, oh, this is a One Republic song. I
Yeah.
don't even factor in Timbaland being a part of it.
Hey, I should have known that Matt DiStefano was going to come in here with a game, but I also have a game. If you guys,
Oh, I love it.
if you guys want to play a quick game before we do Thunder or Blunder, it's not a long
Sure.
one.
Let's
Chris,
do it.
what are your prizes?
I
want to win your hat.
my Steelers hat. I wish I should start giving out prizes. I do have I do have the hat that I wore that I wore for my Heisenberg costume that I also wore for our Omi episode. If you want to try to win that.
Perfect.
Okay. We'll go. You have to buzz in. You can say what are you going to say to buzz in?
Fire or flames?
Fire. Yeah. Okay. Fire.
Yeah, I'll be fire, you be flames. I think that makes it easier.
That's
All right.
cool. And if you can get it without the multiple choice, you're going to get 3 points. If you need the multiple choice, if you guys get it once I have to go to the multiple choice, then you're going to get 1 point. I feel like all of these questions could be answered without the multiple choice. And these are all things. This song was in the charts, made its one little, jump up into the charts in January of 2008. These are all questions about January of 2008.
Okay.
Love it.
Okay. On January 4th of 2008, Silverchair frontman Daniel Johns and this Australian pop diva announced their divorce.
Flames.
Go for it.
Natalie Imbruglia.
You got it. 3 points. Would you have got that one, Matt?
I would have. I hesitated because we talked about it in the Torn episode.
Okay. 3-0. Matt DiStefano is up. Okay. Question number
What
2.
are we playing to?
There's 6 questions.
Yeah, we're just playing to the end of 6 questions.
On January 7th of 2008, this movie, written by Joel and Ethan Coen, won Best Film at the 13th Critics' Choice Movie Awards.
2000. Fire.
Go for it.
Was that No Country for Old Man time?
You got it.
All right.
I'll give you credit.
Did he?
Old
Even though he
Country,
said the wrong
Old Man.
title.
No Country
I'll
for
give you
Old
credit.
Man.
That's what I was just gonna ask.
Even though you made it singular, I'll still give
I'll
you credit.
take a sip of my tea for that one.
All right, it's 3-3. I told you guys could possibly get all of these. Maybe not this one. You might need multiple choice. On January 15th of 2008, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration allows the production and sale of foods derived from what? It looks like you guys
the multiple choice.
looks
on
like
that.
you guys need the multiple choice.
Yeah.
They allowed the production and sale of foods derived from A, GMOs, B, horses, C, cloned animals, or D, grade F meat.
Flames.
Go for it.
GMOs. A.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
Fire.
Go for it.
Were we already doing the cloned meats by then? See?
You got it. Cloned animals.
Oh, wow.
Matt takes a 4-3 lead. Matt Kelly, that is, takes a 4-3 lead. Okay. On January 17th of 2008, this chess player who was world champion from 1972 through 1975 died at the age of 64. Looks like these guys need a multiple choice.
Might be another multiple choice there.
Yeah.
A, Gary Kasparov. B, Magnus Carlsen. C, Anatoly Karpov. Or D, Bobby Fischer.
Flames.
Go for it.
A.
That is incorrect.
Gary Kasparov.
That is incorrect.
I'm not getting negative points. I figured
I was going to say, I'll also, because there's no negative points, I didn't think Bobby Fischer was chess champion in the 70s, but I'll say D, Bobby Fischer.
You got it. It's Bobby Fischer.
Okay.
All right. You're up 5-3. It's anybody's game. We got 2 questions left. On January 20th of 2008, this beloved television series debuted on AMC.
Fire.
Go for it.
Oh, no. You said ABC?
On AMC.
Oh, AMC. It wasn't The Walking Dead. Was it Breaking Bad?
You got it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. He just sealed it up. Do you want the last question anyway?
Yeah, let's do it for fun.
All right. This isn't that fun of a question. On January 20th.
This is the most
Well, maybe let's
winningest
not do it
Matt
then.
Kelly episode of One Hit Thunder ever.
We're letting this dude sweep us.
I know, it's horrible.
On January 22nd of 2008, this actor died of a drug overdose at age 28.
Oh, that was the last question?
Yeah.
I still think I need
Flames?
multiple choice.
Go for
okay.
it.
Is it Heath Ledger?
It was.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit.
8-6. It was a respectable.
Well, let's talk about something more fun than that.
Yeah.
So I
They were
have
only-
one
they
other
were in-
thing.
They were in chronological order.
Yeah, I got
That's
one more.
fair.
I got one more thing that I thought was worth mentioning. I'm assuming because of the popularity, of this song being in the video games. By the time the fourth Dragonforce album came out, they were one of the headliners for the first ever Mayhem Festival. It was them, Disturbed, and Slipknot as the main headliners for Mayhem Festival. And I forgot that Mayhem Festival was a thing. And I was like, I went to look into it. So it ran for 8 years. Do you know who organized the Mayhem Festival?
It's Tommy Lee, right?
No.
Oh.
Kevin Lehman from Vans Warped Tour. It was like his metal Warped Tour. It was him and John Reese, who was his partner for doing Taste the Chaos Tour as well.
When you said Kevin and hesitated, I started laughing so hard hoping you were going to say, it was Kevin James. Kevin James. Who would have thought?
Chris, you were confused. You were thinking of who organized Methods of Mayhem.
Okay.
Yeah, Methods of Mayhem. Yeah.
That's a band, Methods of Mayhem?
That's Tommy Lee's band.
Okay.
That is a band that qualifies for One Hit Thunder for sure, with their only hit single, Get Naked, featuring Little Kim. Little Kim and the dog man himself, fucking George Clinton.
Oh, okay. That's
the dog man. Did people call him the dog man?
The dog man.
He's the atomic dog.
Atomic dog. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He literally says in the song, "The dog man up in this place." Wow, wow.
Okay. I didn't realize that.
So wait, I want to talk about two things.
Sure.
One I'd like to talk about is Dragonforce. I mentioned they have been covering songs as like the
what
last
songs have they
bonus
been
track
covering?
on their album. So they covered, the first was Ring of Fire, which was pretty cool.
Okay. Yeah.
Then they covered My Heart Will Go On.
Wow.
On, I think, their last album. And then the one on their album that comes out in a few months is Wildest Dreams by Taylor Swift.
Oh, wow.
Which that's the perfect
I was gonna
Venn
say, there's
diagram
never
of
been-
everything I love.
That's just a circle for Matt. That's not even a Venn diagram anymore.
It just overlaps completely. Which is really interesting because I don't know, they're doing it right, it seems like, because they're doing things that are keeping them relevant. Those songs keep popping up as their top songs on Spotify. People are still streaming them, even if they don't listen to the rest of their albums. And Herman Lee is all over YouTube and social media. I don't know. These guys it seems like they figured it out.
Yeah.
They cracked a code.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart. You got to keep yourself relevant. Speaking of Herman Lee, one thing I wanted to talk about, when you watch these guys play, and in this song, and Through the Fires and Flames, if you watch them play live, or I think he does it in the music video too, they do some things that I've only seen them do as far as technique. One of the things that Herman Lee does is like grab his guitar by the strings while playing.
By the whammy bar.
Oh, is he grabbing the whammy bar? I thought he was like grabbing the strings. Okay. And kind of like flicks the guitar up, which I've never seen anybody do that. And the other thing, which I have seen people do this a little bit, but all of the guys in the band kind of put their hand over the fretboard and play like as if it's a different instrument, or like you were.
It's almost like playing a
something.
piano on the fretboard in a weird way.
Sure, or like pedal
Like you have your
steel or
hands-
something.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So
They also do the little, he calls it the Pac-Man sound, the little like, like you know what I'm talking about in this, where he kind of reaches down towards the pickup on the guitar and does something where he scrapes across it and it sounds like Pac-Man.
Right. They do all kind of crazy. I can't even tell what things are being done by some sort of synth and what things are being done in a Tom Morello, I'm going to make my guitar make weird sounds using effects and the way and technique and stuff. I can't always tell what's what. It's definitely awesome that they do that.
Yeah.
I love that. I love pushing the instrument.
The last thing that I wanted to mention, now that we're talking about like the live stuff and craziness that they do, did anyone listen to the live version of this song from their first live album?
I watched whatever the live version. There's a YouTube that was a live version of it that had like a ton of plays. That's what I don't know if it's the same thing.
Is there a way we can listen to something together right now? I don't know how technology works.
So if you can pull it up on YouTube and click the present button and do share screen Chrome tab and make sure that it has share audio tab, we'll get like a good enough version of it.
I don't know if I can find it on YouTube. Can I do that on like a Spotify?
You can do that on Spotify too. I found that it will come out a little like washed out and weird, but
but
we'll be able to hear what you're trying to point out.
Yeah, you can plug in if you want to. I would love for you to play this 10-second segment of the beginning of this song.
Okay.
So let me find this real quick. It made me laugh so hard, and there's a different version on a later live album that doesn't have the same energy and is not as good, and this is just so funny to me. Where is this? Okay, so they have this live album called Twilight Dementia. Came out in 2010. Through the Fire and Flames is the last song on it.
Stop. Yo, assholes! Make some fucking noise!
Okay, that's all I wanted to play.
Good.
I think that's hilarious. I think that should be the definitive version of that song.
If you're going to do a live album, you got to make it fun like that.
Yeah. Now,
I just like the first time I heard it, I'm expecting him to go right into it because there's no pause in the recorded version, and just to hear him call the whole crowd assholes and
awesome.
and scream in that, very operatic voice, it just made me smile.
A live video I watched of them was in Japan, and you could only imagine how crazy people went. There was like the most enormous circle pit. It was Through the Fire and Flames. That was what the song they were playing. And it was just, you can't imagine how much fun that would have been to be there at that show. It definitely looked really, really awesome. Do we even need to do? Well, here's the thing. As far as Thunder or Blunder, guys, go ahead and speak your piece about this. I think we know where Matt DiStefano stands, correct?
Oh, yeah. I think... So even just talking about the song rips. The only thing that I will say against this band is they can kind of be tiring to listen to if you're putting on a whole album of 10-minute songs that are mostly guitar solos that are amazing on their own. Listen to a couple of them back to back, I get kind of fatigued.
Right.
But that being said, I think they've had at least one song I love on all their albums they've put out. They're killer live. Absolutely. Fire, flames, thunder, earth, water, heart, whatever we want to throw on their name, I throw all of the above on Dragonforce's name.
Bouncing off of that, they're definitely the king of bands that put out 7 or 8 song albums that are still over an hour and change. Every track is 8 to 10 minutes long, and you're just like, all right, I'm signed up for this, here we go. But yeah, I love this band. I remember the first time I heard this song, this was kind of my gateway into a lot of metal in general, because like you, Chris, I was like, I don't like, I knew a couple Metallica songs I liked or whatever, but this really kind of sent me into listening to more of this, more power metal, and then I was listening to a little bit more thrash metal, and I mean, there's pockets of metal that I will never be into, but this showed me that there were subgenres within that bigger genre that were specifically designed for me. So I'm absolutely giving them thunder. That being said, the fact that this was a hit at all is even kind of a blunder in the grand scheme, because this should have never been a song that made it onto the radio. It's almost an accident that this ever became more than a very small niche audience thing. But I'm still going to give them thunder.
Yeah, this is a case of a song, its cultural impact being much more important than its Billboard performance. Because if we were going on Billboard performance, number 86, we're not doing One Hit Thunders about a song just because it hit number 86. But, to a certain extent, this is kind of novelty music. I mean, especially how self-aware and tongue-in-cheek they are. And, if you're doing a song about Zelda and covering a Taylor Swift song, I know you like that a lot, Matt, but it's about as novelty as it gets. But the musicianship is so insane that I can't do anything but call this thunder. It would be ridiculous for someone to come on here.
I would rather take two dudes who are among some of the greatest guitar players in the world not taking themselves seriously than any circumstance of two of the greatest guitar players in the world very much taking themselves seriously.
Just think of the band that this could be if there was no ounce of irony or humor in the band. They would be insufferable.
Yeah, I guess what I was thinking at first is like I feel like maybe the one thing they lack is a little bit of, I don't know, like you're going to put this song on and like really feel the emotion and lyrics. But there's some nerds out there that I'm sure when they're singing about a wizard or a dragon or something, there are people out there that are really feeling the lyrics too.
I'll tell you, I feel something every time the chorus hits in this song. Like just the melody of that chorus, even before I knew what the words were, I was like, damn, man, I will carry on.
Triumphant.
It's almost better to not know the words. Right. I think I feel more. I looked at the lyrics today, I was like, this song's kind of dumb. But listening to it, you feel that energy of like everything else that's happening and the soaring melody, and you feel like it's about something that it might not be about. I don't know. Throw the lyrics away.
This might be a song you'd put on at like the apex moment of your life. Like like if I won like some prestigious award, I might want this song to play and be like, here I am at the mountaintop. I guess that's where the emotion lies in this song. And therefore we have to certify this Thunder. Dragonforce, look out for your certificate in the mail. Just got to get it notarized first.
Take your time getting ready. It's a one-way road to home.
This has been One Hit Thunder. One Hit Thunder is hosted by Chris Falios of the band Punchline and produced by Matt Kelly of Geekscape.net. Underneath me, you're hearing Don't Try This at Home off the Punchline album 37 Everywhere. Be sure to check out punchlinemusic.com for any upcoming news on the band. Our podcast is on Patreon now. Find us at patreon.com/OHT podcast for early access to episodes, bonus episodes, and a chance to vote on future songs for us to cover. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to us on any podcasting app, and tune in next week for more One Hit Thunder.
They make it seem so easy on TV, believe me. Don't try this at home. Now back to my reality show.
You're listening to the Geekscape Network.
Well, hey friends, my name is Zach Lupitin. You may know me from the band Dust Bowl Revival, but I also host a music discovery podcast called The Show on the Road. For the last 5 seasons, I've been able to dive deep and have intimate chats with folks like the Lumineers, Ani DeFranco, Wolfpack, Keb Mo, Lake Street Dive, Bela Fleck, and more. So guess what? After 150 conversations with some of my favorite songwriters from around the world, we are bringing brand new episodes to the Osiris Network. New interviews and intimate acoustic performances will be coming at you this summer. And which episodes are coming next, you ask?
I am Zach Goody, the lead singer for the band Smash Mouth.
Our band is called Milky Chance. We are based in Berlin.
My name is David Shaw. I sing and write songs with my band, The Revivalists.
Trust me, these conversations go some wild places. So subscribe to The Show on the Road on Osiris, and we'll see you soon.
Hey, this is Dewey Halpus, host of Pure Pleasure on the Sound Talent Media Podcast Network. Join me each week as I explore another long-form conversation with one of your favorite musicians, actors, comedians, or creatives. From Chino Moreno of the Deftones, John Gorley of Portugal the Man, to Fat Mike from NoFX and Ian MacKaye from Fugazi and Minor Threat, we go all over the map. From Fall Out Boy to Slayer, Pure Pleasure has it all. Check us out now on Sound Talent Media.